Really connecting it with I have several people over except more than one time. I didn't either. I'll ask them. Lots of unidentifieds. Natalie Allsbro. There we go. I thought we just had this person. Look right now, shit. So, HMD Global, does that ring a bell? It's okay if it doesn't. Here comes everyone. So good morning, everyone. I'm Judge Person, and you'll be on mute for a little bit until it's your turn. We'll take turns, but everybody will have an opportunity with their case. I was noting when people logged in, and I'm watching people's audio connect, and so I will be a little bit repetitive until I get very clear that most people are logged in. So again, I'm Judge Person. I welcome everybody to court. And this is the Temple Municipal Court. You should have an appointment to be here. I have a few people also that I wasn't able to identify. I'd like to start with someone who's on a telephone only. It's a 254 area code phone number, and it ends, the last 3 to 4 digits of that phone number will be 199. And I'm actually asking that person to unmute right now. Can you unmute 199 telephone?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, yes. What is your name, please?
Antonio Vargas.
What's the last name?
Vargas.
Vargas. Okay, I've got
Vargas.
you. Yeah, I understand. Okay, thank you. So I will, I'll keep track of you, but you need to understand that there are several, you can't see it, and the rest of us can, but there's a line, and we'll be with you soon. You're here for a pretrial, and I'll have you down shortly. So you'll be on mute until I ask you to unmute, but this time I can ask you by name. So that will help. Thank you. And there, I did see a few, there's an HMD Global, and I just don't know who that connects to. So I'm asking you to unmute and just tell me your name, please.
Pamela Wilburn.
Thank you, Ms. Wilburn. I do have you down for today.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. And now I know who you are. So thank you. And I'll change it on the screen, but it won't change it permanently. It'll just be for this session. There's a Zoom user, nice braids. Tell me your name, please.
Braxton Bynum.
Braxton Branham?
Bynum.
Bynum. I'm sorry, excuse me. Okay, thank you. I've got you down. And I had another Zoom user. Let me find them. Let's see if their audio is connected. Oh, there we go. A young man with a bracelet or maybe a wristwatch and glasses. Could you tell me your name?
Robert Rodriguez.
Thank you. Got it. Okay. And I had a Samsung, and gentleman potentially has a polo type shirt on, beard, asking you to unmute. Yes.
Corey Delgado.
Thank you, Mr. Delgado. Appreciate you helping me know who you are. You know, I have a file to pull on each person, so I want to make sure when it's your turn, we're not fumbling. And I think I had one more. Oh, I had two more. Nadia, let me know who has a case today.
Bryson Roberts.
Thank you. And then there was one last one, and it was just a name that I didn't have in my list. James Mitchell, can you unmute and tell me who has a case today?
James McElroy.
Say the last name again.
McElroy.
Can you spell that?
McElroy.
McElroy. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, that's good. Thanks, everyone. So, okay, I do want to let everybody know when you're given a ticket or issued a citation, those are all methods under the law for accusing someone. That's what a ticket is. It's an accusation. And when we give a plea, we're giving an answer or a response to that accusation. And there are three options for pleading: guilty, not guilty, and no contest. If we plead guilty, we're saying I did this. Not guilty means I'm contesting this, ultimately. And pleading no contest means I'm not admitting or denying it. I'm just moving forward with sentencing, not contesting. Excuse me, a little bit of a, okay, I think that's better. So if you plead guilty or no contest, I'm moving forward with sentencing. If a plea has already been entered and accepted by the court, then I'm just working on the sentence. Okay. The next thing I want to tell you is if you plead no contest or guilty, there are different options in terms of payment, and there are some options available still for dismissal at that point. And I will tell you what those are in just a moment. If you plead not guilty, ultimately that means that the burden of proof is on the state to prove that case. So really, in a certain way, that case is being moved toward trial. It's a request for trial. And then we're moving that case forward toward the trial process. We have an online meeting. Many things get resolved that way. Not everything can be resolved that way, and that's fine. The next meeting, though, then is here in the court. And that's usually pretty quick. We schedule a specific time for a docket for that case, and that we are handling pretrial matters and getting things moving forward toward trial. So you will have received a two-step schedule when we scheduled this meeting. It's on the paperwork, but I will remind you today on that docket. That docket will move off to talk privately about the case. You don't have to discuss the case with the other person. The other person is the state of Texas representative lawyer, and that is Ryan Matson. Mr. Matson, could you unmute briefly and just introduce yourself, please?
Good morning, everyone. I'm the prosecutor for Temple.
Okay, so Ryan Matson is the prosecutor for Temple. That's correct. And he is not my representative. He represents the party that filed the case. So he represents the state of Texas. And that meeting, courts always require those meetings, but you do need to be aware that that's not your lawyer. He'll probably remind you if things move in a direction that indicates there's any confusion. Most people do represent themselves in a Class C court. Therefore, quite a bit of information is forthcoming. Nevertheless, everybody has their position. I do understand that. Somebody left. Okay, so maybe they'll log back on. But I've got people organized in the order that they logged in, and I'm going to move through the meetings that way. Now, I talked about guilty, not guilty, and no contest. When you plead guilty or no contest, there are still 4 ways to gain a dismissal, and the payment options are as follows. You can have 30 days to make payment. If you need more time, you can usually have a payment plan. Normally, a clerk can set that up for you, but if it doesn't work out, you might be needing to talk to me. There's some limits to their authority for setting that. If there are parameters that can't be met, then I'm talking to you usually. The next thing, and it's just less convenient, but I'm available, okay? The next thing too is that we can do adjustments based on income, and in some instances make alternative orders and look at different options that might be available. In connection with that, you were asked to fill out income information. Sometimes I can make people uncomfortable, but it's required under the law in order to set payment options and for me to make realistic decisions about the situation. And I'll be looking at that and I'll ask you if I have questions, but I don't put that information online for other people to look at. It's in your file on the court, and court files are open to the public in a certain way. But the person would have to specifically request it, and we would do redactions on your information. So that information is not being put out into the public in a way that would violate the law, okay? If you're on the not guilty docket, I still ask for the information because I'm supposed to take that same information and schedule a bond on each case heading to trial. And so I did make that request. If you didn't fill it out, we'll look to get it at some point before I set that bond in a way that secures trial. I don't ask. I'm not a person who's going to make you fill out the same information in 3 different places. It's a waste of your time and mine. So I just put it all in one place, okay? And therefore you can get asked the same information for different purposes, okay? So if you need clarification about that, you can ask me when it's your turn. The next thing I want to talk about are just the 4 ways that are available in a Class C court to gain a dismissal, even where you've pleaded guilty or no contest. So that means that, you know, there are certain rights and duties that you have at that point. I'm going to tell you what they are, and then I'll just tell you quickly how they work and what you're expected to do and what I'm expected to do. So compliance dismissals, driver safety course options, deferred dispositions, and teen court are dismissal methods, okay? Compliance dismissals are things that can be brought up to date and dismissed. The law has to say that will happen, okay? And if it says that, then your expectation of me is that I'll be looking to see if you're eligible. If I need more information to clarify that, I'll ask. However, you may have questions, and if I'm not moving that toward a dismissal that way, your matter with the court, you can ask me about it. They all have a lot of detail, though. If I go into the details of all 12 things right here, we will be here forever. And also, it would you wouldn't catch it. It's too many things, and it only applies to a handful of cases. They're not that many, but I will look. Okay. Driving safety course options, the second option, is a state program that is, it has an incentive built into it because you can have a dismissal and you save money. And that is for moving violations, normally Texas driver's license holders, in some cases military, active military. And so I will be looking again for those qualifications, and I'll be automatically starting to talk to you about it. You're welcome to ask me if I'm not doing that and you wondered if you were eligible. Before a plea is accepted is the time to have these types of discussions. The nice thing in that program is that you get a dismissal and you save money. Every ticket has a court cost and a fine. In the driving safety course option, you're paying the court costs and the fine is on hold for the simple fact that court costs are established by the state legislature and the fine is set by the judge of the court. That would be me. So the legislature, because that money goes to the legislation body to allocate, that gets paid. And the fine, which is local pavement and local roads and sidewalks, that goes on hold and gets waived if you get the program done. You still have to take a course. That's the not positive thing, maybe perhaps, although frankly, it's not boring. And you have to get your driving record turned in. It has to be the proper course. It has to be the proper record. We will give you written information for how to find that if you're in that program. You'll have deadlines which must be strictly adhered to, or you might not get the dismissal and you might wind up paying the full cost of the ticket. But if you get the program done the way it's intended, you get a dismissal of a moving violation from your record. Therefore, it's not reported on your record. And you get a savings of about $100, even when you calculate in what it costs to do those programs. So it's very helpful. We know from the metrics that are available that people drive better after they take that course. And so it is incentivized under the law. That's number 2 option for dismissal. Third option is called a deferred disposition. Deferred means delay. Disposition means to make final. I delay making your case final. I put an order in place that governs what we do about your case. At the end of the day, if you follow the order in writing, you get a dismissal. You'll know what it is you need to do. Generally speaking, we've got to sort out fines and costs. There might be a record or a class due. There may be something for you to affirmatively turn in. You do have to keep your address current. You do have to keep yourself ticket free and warrant free. And you can't be issued any kind of citation, for not coming to court. Basically, don't do things that get you into trouble. Get your fines and costs paid off. Get your records or whatever you have turned in. Okay, and then you get a dismissal at the end of the deferral period. They can be up to 6 months. Okay, and then the fourth one is if you qualify and receive, the deferred disposition. The trick there's a little bit of a trick there. It's not a trick, but if you represent yourself, you do need to know the law says you ask the judge for the deferred. Now you can ask through the prosecutor. You and the prosecutor can come to an agreement and y'all can make that request of me by agreement. Or you can ask me directly on a plea of guilty or no contest. The judge can say yes or no. Okay. The judge does not have to grant a deferred. I will listen each time and talk to you when you make the request. How do you make the request? Guilty or no contest, I'd like a deferred. It's quite simple. Okay. So just be aware that you are required to make that request rather than me looking for you. Okay. Just say deferred. Can I have one? It's pretty simple. Okay. The fourth option is teen court. Teen court is similar to a deferred, except that I will assume that you are interested in teen court because it's such a good program. With teen court, that is for middle school, high school students, or those enrolled in the equivalent programs to get an equivalent to a high school diploma program. I will assume you want to do that because it will save your parents money and the burden will be on you to earn a dismissal by learning the most you can from the process of having had charges filed here. So on a guilty or no contest plea, I'll automatically see if you're qualified and I'll start pushing. Now, if you don't want these options, any of these options, because they require that you do things, you're going to need to tell me, I don't want to do that. Just want to pay and have it go on the record because I assume people might be interested. Okay. Because I would be. So I do make assumptions like money matters. The record matters for most people that bothered to log in and honored their court date. So I'm looking at it from that perspective. And if that's not your perspective, You won't offend me, but don't let me set you up to do something that you're not going to do because you're wasting your own time and mine. Okay. Let me know. It's fine. It won't upset or offend me, but these are just positive options. And I assume people are probably more interested than not. Okay. So we're starting. I'm going to admit a late person and I'm going to start Mr. Matson, Yashkarn logged in first, and Mr. Baines, yes, can you unmute so we know that your audio is working? I know it was giving you trouble a little earlier.
Yes. Sorry, good morning.
You too. Okay, so you're ready. Great. Okay, I will move y'all into that meeting. And remember, this is a pre-trial heading to trial. And, we're looking to see what options might be available, but I'm expecting both parties to take a good long look at their situation. And so I'm just looking for you on my screen. There we both are. Mr. Matson, sending him over to the meeting, and Ms. Baines moving you over as well. Okay, and then I am moving forward myself, but I did want to connect with a person I just allowed in. And I know Mr. Mitchell, remind me your name, please. James Mitchell. Yes.
James McElroy.
What's the last name?
McElroy, McElroy.
That's right. The one I didn't write down. I got you now. Okay, no problem. Mr. McElroy, I've already got you in. Your audio is still a challenge, but maybe by the time we get to your case, it won't be. Just be aware that if you're in a moving vehicle, I see you might be a passenger. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but it won't. Okay, got it. So just work on, maybe sometimes if people are in a car, like if you're driving, I'm going to disconnect you because it's illegal to drive with a screen running. And I just can't have you do that on a Zoom meeting. Pull over, get a good connection and call back in. I've got you in order already. The other thing is, if you're in a car and you're like a passenger, that's fine. But if the car is moving or it's not moving, but the connection's not good, it can create a real issue when we try to work together. So you might just look at that before it's your turn. Cassandra Jones, can you unmute? And oops, that's improved while I pull the file. If not, I'll keep watching and I'll move to the next person. Let me just get a little order. There we go. Okay. All right. I'm going to go to the next person and I'll keep looking for Miss Jones or Mr. Jones. I think it's, but let me look at talking to Carlotta Vega Forte. Let's see. There you go. Can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am. Cassandra is here. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you. Miss Forte Vega, hang on just a moment, or Vega Forte.
No, this is Cassandra. I just want to
I understand.
I was having audio issues.
Yeah, I know that you are. So, right. So hang on. I do have your file, Cassandra, and it's a theft under $25. And I do have, let me just look. There is a plea of no contest being entered, and the fines and costs are $296. I'm showing you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm showing you to be on time for court. We have a program that I think you're eligible for that will result in a dismissal. And in that,
yes, ma'am.
In that situation, the way that would work is we would need you to come by today to the court and sign some documents. Those documents would, listen carefully, those documents would reschedule your case to a new date in about a month. And we would give you information for taking an online theft intervention class. You take the course online and get a copy of it, certificate of completion. You bring it to us before your next court date, and I'm able to do a dismissal on that charge it's not free because you're paying for the class, but your fines and costs would be waived and it would not be a conviction on your record. We have this program for first offenders, which I've identified you to be within this court because you are, for the simple fact that it really affects employment and so forth. A first offense is a good opportunity time to learn the most from the unfortunate fact that we're here. So are you interested in doing that?
Yes, ma'am, I am interested in doing that.
Okay. What time can you come in today to sign your documents?
I could be there at 10 a.m. I can, I'm already dressed. I could be in there about 10.
Okay. That's perfect. Come to the window, identify yourself, and we'll have your paperwork ready. Okay.
Okay, is it the same place I went to set up the court date?
Yes, the court has not moved.
Okay, yes, ma'am, I will be there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. There we go. People get nervous because they're not connecting, and then they connect on multiple devices, and it's works against them. It's just a unfortunate thing. Let me remove them. I'm having trouble with that too. Okay, so I'm going to move forward, and Mr. Matson, I saw you come back in, and therefore I'm going to move. Mr. Baines was able to do so, so we're good there. This is a single charge of speeding accusation from January 29th, 2023. The fines and costs are $254, which has been posted as a bond, and the allegation is 75 and a 60. Where are we with regard to this matter?
The state is recommending deferral, Your Honor.
And Mr. Baines, do you agree to a deferral?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Those are normally 120 days. I don't see Mr. Matson. I would not order. I mean, do y'all have an agreement, or are you looking to me to do that?
We didn't reach an agreement, Your Honor.
Did or did not? I'm sorry.
We did.
Okay, can you tell me what that is?
It would be the 120-day period with
Okay.
a course by day 60. And since Mr. Baines has already posted bond in full, that is satisfied.
Okay. Mr. Baines, if I email this agreement to you, can you print it, sign it, and email it back this morning?
Yes, ma'am. I can do that.
Okay, we'll include driver safety course info along with that so that you know what we're looking for from you. And that way it's written and pretty easy to follow standard stuff. You probably could do it on your own, but nevertheless, I just send it out. So I'll email that to you through the course of the morning, and then I'll just look to get that back from you signed. And once you sign it, I'll pre-sign it, assuming that I'm going to get your signature. And then once you sign it, you'll have your copy. So that works pretty well that way. Okay.
One question, ma'am.
Yes.
Is it possible to open on like a PDF editor, electronically sign it, and then send it back? Is that appropriate?
Let me ask you a question about your system. Does that assign your signature, or does it just assign a generic signature?
No, I have to use like a stylus type
If
device.
it's you making that signature, that works. If it's a signed precursive kind of thing, like Scott and White does this, that Scott and White does it, but it's like you sign a bunch of things saying that you're agreeing to that. We don't do that way because legally speaking, that's a bunch of processes that we're just not going to deploy. But if it's you making it, I don't have a problem with it.
Perfect. Thank you.
As long as you would look at it and say, yes, this is my signature, then it's no issue. Okay.
Thank you.
I think I heard you say yes, and it's a little faint, but are we good to go?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, didn't.
That's okay.
realize
Okay, we'll email that to you and we'll look to get it back today, okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Ms.
sir.
Matson.
You're good to go unless you have any further questions.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too, sir. Mr. Matson, I'm going to move you forward with Shailene Godfrey. Shailene Godfrey, can you unmute and let me know?
Yes, I'm here, Your Honor.
Perfect. Okay, I'll move you over to that meeting. And I also will move forward with Charlotte Vega Forte. Where did she go? There we go. Perfect. Hi, how are you this morning?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you for asking. And are you dad?
Stepdad, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And can you give me your name?
Francisco Aguilar.
Who else?
1L.
Okay. And this is an allegation for failing to stop for a school bus. That offense has a requirement of a fine. So the fine is quite high. It's $659 total. We did have a teen court violation back in 2022 that had to do with a license restriction. So hang on, let me just look for a second. It's usually once per type of offense. I can allow a second. Right. I think that I would want a faster solution for her because this is dangerous. I'm talking to a case manager. Give me just a moment. My thought would be, this is, what are the court costs? Are we able to do driving safety on it? I thought not. She can do teen court as a second option. Yeah. Okay. All right. This one is one of those things like you can't even do a driver safety course option for it. Are you working, Charlotte?
Yes, ma'am.
I think that we could do a second teen court. There's a $20 teen court fee. Can that fee get paid today?
I wanted to do the monthly payment.
You do.
Yeah.
Just want to pay this out.
Yeah.
Okay. Stepdad, do you agree, Mr. Aguilar?
Yes, ma'am, I agree.
Okay, have y'all discussed an amount?
For right now, we could probably put a portion and then just continue with the payment plan.
Okay, she's working then. At Target?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What are you able to pay today, Charlotte?
She could for right now, starting off, she could give $50.
Okay. Can we do then after that $25 every 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yes, that works.
What and you can always pay more and get done faster. When are you paid next in your job?
The 24th of March.
Okay. Well, let's start with $25, $50 today, and then $25 on the 24th. Because
Okay.
we're just gonna when you get paid, we get paid.
Okay.
People have an easier time keeping up with that. Can you come by and sign and make that first payment this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what time?
As soon as we're done here, she can go ahead and get that done.
Okay, so let's say 10:15 or so.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Am I able to go by myself or does a parent have to come with me?
You're still too young to do it by yourself. You have to be 17 or
Okay.
so a parent must come with you.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see you soon. Mr. Matt said you were talking with on the Godfrey case, Shailene, excuse me. And we do have fingerprints on file, so there's no hiccup there. Where are we with regard to this matter?
Ms. Godfrey has accepted terms of deferral, Your Honor.
Okay. And what are those terms, please?
That would be 120 days with an anger course due by day 60.
And how many hours on the anger?
That would be 8, Your Honor.
Okay. And anything, what with regard to payment?
Ms. Godfrey, did you need more than 30 days to pay?
No, I will go in today and pay it.
Okay. All right. Actually, that works well because we need your signature. What time will work for you today?
I will be in there before 11.
Okay, that will work. And we'll give you course information as well, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll see you shortly.
Thank you.
Mr. Mattson, I am moving you forward with Kylie Vestal. Kylie Vestal, can you unmute?
Yes, I'm right here.
Okay, I will move you over to that meeting.
Great.
Let's give me a moment. I'm going to work next though with Brianna Gonzalez. But give me a moment, Brianna Gonzalez. Let me talk to the bailiff. Yes. I will as soon as I wrap up. Yeah. And no doubt we told him 30 minutes and we're not halfway in. So that's going to agitate the situation, but that's just going to be what it is. Okay. So good morning, Ms. Gonzalez. Let me find you.
Good morning.
Morning. How are you this morning?
Hi, I'm fine.
Okay. So let me get caught up. Okay. I have a team court request. There's a stop for February 2nd. There is a no driver's license charge. Fines and costs are $181. And there is a no insurance charge. Fines and costs are $281. You're in high school and you're in high school in Waco. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And let's see. You're also working, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, with teen court, there's a $20 fee, and then we on each case. And so that would bring the case to $40. And the first question is, can you pay those fees today?
Yes, ma'am.
That unfortunately with teen court, they have to be in, which means you have to come here. And I know you're in Waco. Are you able to get here lawfully to do that?
Yes, I can be there. I want to say around 1 maybe or earlier.
Okay, 1 is going to work fine.
Okay.
Anytime between now and then. The next question is, are you getting a license?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you in that process?
Well, right now, since I'm doing the teen court, I didn't know it was gonna get in the way of me getting a license. So it doesn't? Okay, so then I'll probably start looking into courses today because I need to get it soon.
Right, you need to make an appointment too, and those appointments can be hard to come by. Normally with teen court, we just don't have a long term. We normally would want that license within a month.
Oh. So what are the options for me, like getting a license?
The one thing we could do is if you want to come and do that payment, we can just hold it as a bond and reschedule you for 2 weeks from today for you to get information about getting that license, because it sounds like you don't quite know what you're supposed to do yet.
Yeah.
And going into an agreement where you agree that you're going to meet deadlines when you don't know what deadlines you have, that's probably not a good way to start. So I can reschedule you for us to talk about teen court, put teen court and everything on hold for 2 weeks. And you're going to have homework to figure out how to get a license, which is you just go onto the DPS website.
Okay, so
yeah.
So right now, like I can start looking into me getting into a driver's license program, like a course.
I would assume so.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
So,
yeah, that's fine.
So I would extend you and we'll meet again on the 30th of March.
Okay.
You'll need to sign for that and bring the teen court fee. We're gonna be heading to.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again? I couldn't
Right.
really hear.
I would reschedule your case
Okay.
for a month, 14 days from today. But I need your signature.
Okay.
I can email it to you if you want to do that, and then we'll look to collect the teen court fee next time. But you do have to log back into this meeting again in 2 weeks, and I need your signature on an extension today.
Okay, that's fine. Do I have to go over there, or you're just gonna email it to me? Because if you
I
email
can,
it,
here's it's a question for me to be asking you. If I email it to you, can you print it, sign it, and email it back?
I think so. Yeah.
If you can print it and take a shot of it after you sign it and email it to us, we're good to go.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we'll email it to you.
Okay.
And then what I'm going to expect from you is next time you log on and you can tell me you've done your course, because you do it online, and you've signed up to get an appointment with DPS, and what's that date? And you don't have to go to DPS in your town. You can go to any DPS office. So you can look around for who has a quick appointment. Because see, from my perspective, you already started trying to drive. And therefore, I mean, it's a funny time to start trying to follow the rules. You need to follow the rules, of course. But I mean, you need to start pushing for where you can go to quickly get licensed.
Okay,
You
sounds
need
good.
to fast burn this quickly.
Okay.
We'll email you the extension. I need it back today. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. All right. So I'm moving forward, Mr. Matson. I know that you were talking with Miss Vestal or Kylie, excuse me. And where are we with regard to that matter?
Your Honor, we'll go ahead and set the final pretrial date, but I believe that these cases will both be resolved prior to then.
Okay. We're scheduled for May 3rd at 1 o'clock. Just a reminder, okay? Ms. Vestal?
Yes.
Okay, very good. We'll see you here then. That is here in the courtroom, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. You're good to go. Mr. Matson, I'm moving you forward with Elias Arriaga. Hopefully I said that properly. There we go. Sir, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. I'm moving you over to that meeting with the prosecutor.
Thank you.
Very good. And then I'm moving forward as well with Ethan James Kim.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to get on screen?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
All right. And this is a show cause. We had requirements that you were required to meet in order to successfully complete teen court. And let me just look and see further what they are. Yeah, I need the original signature. I mean, the original certificate. I received your letter. But it was all due January 24th. And, you should keep copies until you've completed requirements. Normally the solution at this point is you just pay your ticket.
Okay. Not a big problem there.
Are you
How much?
working?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you need more than 30 days to pay your balance of $254?
254. No, ma'am.
You don't need more than 30 days?
No, ma'am.
Okay. You're in Colleen, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
I can send a payment order over. Did they sign for the 30 days? Okay, so I can send that over to you and we'll need it back today. It'll save you a trip if I can email it to you and you can print it and sign it and email it back. Will that work?
I can go straight to the courtroom if you like, because I don't have a printer here.
Okay, that's fine. What time can we look for you?
30 minutes from now, if not like an hour. So around like
That's
11.
fine. Let's say 11.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. We'll have everything at the window for you, Mr. Quinn.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You have a great rest of your day.
You too. And so I'm moving forward then with Natalie Alsbrook. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Thank you.
So let's see. You're at Shoemaker, great. And this is a speeding charge from February 12th. The fines and costs are $264. With teen court, there's a $20 teen court fee. And let's see. Can you pay that fee today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now this is pretty high rate of speed, to be honest. And so normally I will require a driving safety course.
Mhm.
And also there's an essay for you to write. That's 3 pages. And those would both be due by May 16th. And we would give you the information for the essay and the information for how to find the class. If you agree, then we would email that to you. Do you agree?
Should I do? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a way to keep it off your record and you would save the 200. You will have to pay for a course and put some time and energy in.
Okay.
Okay. If I email this to you, can you sign it? I'm sorry, print it and sign it and email it back.
Yes, ma'am.
Mom will sign as well, just because for the fact that you're still considered underage. Okay. The email that we used to sign, I'm sorry, to send this meeting request to you, is that the proper email to email to you with?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We should send that to you here very shortly.
Okay. Thank you.
And we'll include the things that you need. Sorry, I'm just making a note. To successfully get everything done. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Mom, do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
Mom, what was your name?
Angela Alsbrook.
Okay, thank you. We'll send that to you shortly.
Thank you.
They can pay it to you. I'm sorry. I'm going to say this incorrectly, but I'll do my very best. Cinque?
Shitty RG?
How do you say? I'm sorry. No, Fullerton. Cinque Fullerton. Help me say your name properly.
It's SenQ.
Thank you. Excuse me. Did I get Fullerton correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Great. Okay. So I do have your file and I'm just looking at the information. There's a no driver's license charge. Fines and costs are $181. It's a for license from January 20th. And I'm wondering, let's see. I see that you have an appointment with DPS.
Yes, ma'am.
I can, the no DL charge is not one that has a dismissal option. State law just doesn't have that. So we could look at the possibility of a deferral, and I would require the license be turned in during the deferral. Is that your request at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
I just sometimes when people say, well, I don't have a license, but I have an appointment, I'm thinking they're thinking that they can bring a license and get the case dismissed. And it's just not correct. So I can do a deferral. Will that work? Is that
Yes,
what you're
ma'am.
asking? Okay. Can you pay anything towards your balance today? Possible.
Not today. Tomorrow I can.
Okay. Is that when you're paid on Fridays?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What are you able to pay on that? Let me kind of break this down. So that you kind of know what I'm thinking. If I break it into 3 payments, it's about $61. It's 61, 60, and 60. Can you pay $61 tomorrow?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm just making some notes. Okay, and then just if you'll look at your calendar with me, 2 weeks from today is the 31st. Are you able to make your second payment on that?
Hold on one second. Let me get to my calendar.
Certainly.
As long as it's on a Friday, I can make it.
Okay. It is a Friday and it's 2
Yeah.
weeks tomorrow. And that will work for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then looking again further, 2 weeks later, the 14th of April, will that work for you?
Yes, that'll be fine.
Okay. So that'll be how we structure payments on the deferral. And then I would want to see your license by, you could email it to us or you could bring it by the 21st of April.
Okay.
Okay. So I know you're over in Killeen and I'd like to save you the trip if possible. If I email this order to you, can you print it and sign it and email it back to us today, or do you need?
I'm sorry, you cut out at the end.
Right. So if I email this to you, can you print it and sign it and email it back?
Now, I probably will have to come and sign it.
Okay. What time can you be here?
Maybe 1-ish.
Okay. Let's say 1:30. Will 1:30 work?
Yes, that'll be fine.
Okay. Do you have any further questions?
No, ma'am.
When you get here, you'll come to the window, let them know who you are. It will only take you 10 minutes. They'll have
Okay.
everything ready to go.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Fullerton, again, any further questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you're good to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me just play catch up on signatures. And then I need to move forward with Heather Rainwater. Oh, just one moment, Miss Rainwater. I do keep the prosecutor moving for the simple fact that his cases take longer. Okay. Mr. Matson and Mr. Ariagas, Where are we with regard to the parking on an unimproved surface? There's two of them, December 27th and January 6th.
Your Honor, Mr. Arriaga has agreed to a plea deal where he will be pleading no contest or guilty on the December 27th charge, and the state will be dismissing the January 6th charge.
Okay. We can add that to the payment plan. Is that the goal?
I believe that the payment scheduling was something that he wanted to have a conversation with you about.
Okay. Mr. Arriaga, what's that? You're on time with your payment. So are there issues?
I don't know how much I'm gonna pay.
It's the same. It's just going to take longer.
The same was $1,773.
No, you have a payment plan. You have a payment. What is your payment right now? What payment do you make?
I guess $50.
I'll look.
I've got a lot of things in mind. I can't keep up with it all my life.
Arriaga. I'm not able to keep up with it for you, but we can print your payment plan again.
Yeah, well, you know, I
printed it for you before and you're on time. So
well, I mean, you know, like I said, this to me, this is not on my priority list. Unfortunately, I'm not trying to cut y'all down. I got these tickets were for parking on my own grass, and as I explained to the prosecutor, there was just a day or two, not like I parked there all the time. I didn't even know that I had tickets. I found out when I got texted that if I didn't go make a payment, I was going to have a warrant. So this is how I'm finding out about all this.
So the deal that he's put forth is that the very expensive one that's $1,000 would be dismissed. That the other one you would plead no contest to, it would be added to your existing payment plan, which is $50 a month. The amount you pay would not go up. However, because we're adding the $514 case, that's going to take longer. You're always able to pay more, but as long as you stay on time.
I just didn't know the prices of either one of them. You know, I just okay. I'm not going to argue because I've had to do this already in the past. It's just the way it is.
Are you going to come by and sign for this morning or this afternoon?
I'm right in front of the court right now.
Then
I'm here. I'm in the parking lot.
Sir, you can
Yes.
come in.
Okay, well, I've already been in
You're
there.
going to have to let me finish talking or it just doesn't work because we cancel each other out. And you're asking me for information, and as I give it to you, you're talking. I don't actually think you're doing that on purpose, but it's just the way the technology works. If you can come in and sign for the addition of that case to your payment plan, they will print it all out for you, and then you can keep track of it. Yes or no?
Yeah. I was waiting for you to.
I think it was pretty clear that I'd stop talking. Come on in and we'll get taken care of at the window.
All righty. Is that it?
It will be when you make signature. Mr. Matson will do that prosecutor dismissal here in the courtroom. Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And I will move you forward. Let me do that dismissal so that he can have a copy. It's on the later of the charges, which is generous considering. Moving forward, Mr. Matson, Chidi Oji is next.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me move you over to that meeting. I'm going to move forward with Heather Rainwater.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning. How are you, Miss Rainwater?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Let me get your file pulled up.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's see. We have community service. Those hours were due on March 8th. We don't have hours turned in, but we do have a request to change to a payment plan. But I'm showing that a payment plan isn't possible to be met from what's been submitted to me, that the bills are not, they're exceeding, which happens. It's nothing to be, so give me a moment because I am reading what you sent me.
Yes, ma'am.
There's no one to watch your son while you go do community service.
There's been no one reliable. There's been times that I've made plans, and then, you know, suddenly always there's a last minute issue. That being said, of course, I'm kind of picky with who I ask. But it's just, you know, it's been times where there's been maybe something I could have done, but then again, it didn't work out. I did want to add, at the time that I filled out my financial affidavit, there were some things still in the air. So I wanted to only put on there what I knew for sure. My husband has since started working on Monday, and like something consistent that I could count on. We've, in the meantime, since I was laid off, been doing things here and there that weren't something I felt comfortable, you know, counting on. But that does also assist in those bill amounts, just to kind of give a better picture.
Okay, thank you. Two things, and then I can move you forward. The first one is, did you do any hours that I can credit you for?
Yes, ma'am. So I actually, in an attempt to do the hours, I had asked for an extension originally, and in that first time frame window, I did a full day of service that was 9 or 10 hours, I want to say, and then I did turn in that form.
Okay, so that's been turned in already?
Yes, ma'am. I turned that in a few days before the first cutoff date.
Okay, it does look like I've credited that, or it's yeah, I gave credit for that. So I don't want to miss the chance to give credit for credit. Okay, so what would be a payment that would be comfortable and when? Like $30 a month? We could do it as low as that, and you can pay more if you find you're able to.
If that's acceptable, then I would be very comfortable committing to that. I intend and hope to pay more, but just so that we don't get into any hot water, that would be great.
Yeah, I don't want to set hot water goals.
Right.
You have to come in to sign for that sometime today. Can you make a payment today?
I maybe. So I am gonna have to reach out to my husband to see if he can obviously, you know, I want him to be able to drive me there. And see if he can get here sooner. I could make at least a $20 payment today.
Why don't we say this? In 2 weeks, March 30th, a payment of $30 by then, and you come in today and sign. Pay it before then, that's fine. But that gives you breathing room on that part.
Okay. I'm certainly could look it up, but do you happen to know what the end of business day is there?
5.
What time? 5? Oh, I can definitely do it by then.
Okay, what time should we look for you?
I am gonna have to reach out to him. He works landscaping. They were anticipating rain, so I think he might be home early, but I'll just have to see what time he can get here. If he needs to leave early, that's something they can do. Typically he gets off around 4. I should rather not cut it that close.
Let's say by 4:30.
Okay.
Okay. We'll have everything at the window shortly, so if you came early, it will work.
Okay.
Shouldn't take very long to do this once you get here.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Rainwater.
Bye.
Okay, and I just want to check in with Aaron Overby. If you could, I let you into the meeting a few moments ago.
Yes, ma'am.
Why? Why so late?
So,
oh, no, sorry, you got disconnected. I have you logged in. Scratch the question. No
okay.
need. Yeah, no need. You're good to go, and hopefully things stay connected. Okay. Got another person coming in. It's kind of a similar thing. I let people in, but I just kind of want to know what's up.
but I'm moving forward actually with Pamela Wilburn. Good morning, Miss Wilburn. How are you this morning? So sorry, can you unmute?
I had an asthma attack yesterday. I was in the ER,
I'm so sorry to hear
but
that.
I'm doing a little better.
I'm very sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're better. Okay, let me just review this real quickly. It's an older case. I think we've been,
I'm sorry about that, Judge. Somebody knocked on the door and I had to let them know.
okay. All right, you back with us?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we had community service happening.
And
you did do some hours.
It didn't work out. So I had sent you an email a while back.
Yes, ma'am.
And let you know that my check had went up, and I have extra money now, and I have my godmother who took my mother's place when she died. She gives me a substantial amount every month. And so what I'm requesting from you is to make I know I paid some, but I want to pay the balance in one-time payment by March the 30th. Well, on March the 30th. I'm ready to just get it over with because the community service and all that stuff and my health issues, it's just not going to work out. So I'd just rather go ahead and pay a lump sum. I mean, the one-time payment, because she also asked me to request that from you.
Yes. Okay. So that's fine.
I just want to get it over with. It's been going on too long.
Yes, ma'am. Can you come by and just sign for that sometime today?
Expect me around, well, I'm kind of sick, so put me down for 3:00. Because I need to go to the pharmacy and pick up my medicine and stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Then so you can swing by here after that. So we'll look for you around 3. Okay.
Okay. Can you tell me what the balance is that I'm gonna have to pay?
Yes, it's $173.50.
I want to make the full payment.
Okay. And you're able to do that?
Yes, ma'am. On March the 30th.
Okay.
Is it a weekday or a weekend?
So we're not open on the weekend. You can pay electronic.
Is March the 30th on a weekday?
Yes, ma'am. It's on a Thursday, I think.
Okay, I can get in there, say about 3:00, same time as today.
Okay. You can always call it in or pay online, but there are fees.
But the debit card?
Right. There are fees.
Okay, well, that'll be easier. That'll be easier. Because that's my payday, so I'll be able to call it in.
Okay. You can call a clerk that day and they can walk you through it. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Judge.
Yes, ma'am. You're coming by to sign today. Is that right? At
About 3:00. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll have everything at the front desk.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Miss Wilburn.
Have a good day.
You too, ma'am. Okay. And I'm moving forward. Braxton Bynum or Bynum? I think it's yes. Did I say it correctly, Mr. Bynum?
Yes, you did.
Okay. So I'm just looking at where we are and let's see. So you're requesting a payment plan.
Yes.
And I just want to check in with you that did you get any hours that I haven't already credited? I did credit, I think, some hours.
No, I wasn't able to get any because of my work schedule, ma'am.
Okay.
Are you done?
Almost done.
Yeah, you are almost done. Okay. I did see on your payment request, you put $250 a month that you could pay. That's a lot. What I could do is, are you paid every 2 weeks in your job?
Yes, but I'm trying to get my CDLs and this is just hindering me from getting that right now. So I just want to I just want to get it knocked out as soon as possible.
So if we schedule you to pay like every 2 weeks, $50 and you pay more, you're not gonna, it's just gonna make it go away fast.
That's fine.
Yeah. But I don't want to set it in an uncomfortable level with this amount, because things happen. People
I
can't.
just have a question. Is there a way that I don't know if it's how close it is to the 1,000, but if is any way possible you can help me get it to the 1,000 so I can make 4 payments and just be done with it? I don't know how far it is. I think it's like 11, 12 or something.
Let me look. It's at 1535.60.
Because I made all my payments prior on time and I paid off the last tickets that I had off.
Just 1 second. What I'd like to do. Let me see what we can do. So take that. Let me do some reductions. Hang on, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, I can get you down to $1,095.30.
Perfect.
Okay. And you want to split that into 2 payments or 3 payments?
Well, I wanted to do 4 payments total, so it'd be 2 months. So it'd be
Okay.
if I can make my 250, then I'll just do that, and it'll be
Okay.
2 months.
Okay. So when can you begin? I need a signature.
I can't begin my payment until the 6th of April after this 2 weeks.
Okay.
But
And
after that, full-fledged.
okay. April 6th is a Thursday.
Yes, that's my next payday.
Okay. And then every month after that?
Yes.
Okay. Can you sign today?
Yes, I can. I can be in. I work at 1. I can be in at 12. 12:30.
Okay. We'll see you about noon 30. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too. We'll have everything ready for you.
Thank you so much.
And here's his reduction in his stuff. And moving forward, Corey Delgado, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm here at work.
Gotcha. Do they know you're on the meeting?
Yes, ma'am. They do.
Okay. I do have the ability to set a payment plan. But let me walk you back through it. There's a driving with an invalid license. The fines
Yes,
and
ma'am.
costs are $281. This is to stop February 9th, and you're on time for court. I did receive a no contest plea. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, because I do have a driving with license invalid. My license was suspended in 2019. I did pay for it to be reinstated. City of Belton did have a hold on my license. I did recently pay them $2,200. And then the day when I got pulled over, I didn't have any insurance. And then the next day, I did go get insurance. And the officer told me if I go get insurance, then I could have that and dismiss and just pay for the ticket for the driving license.
It's never a good idea to get legal advice from someone not a lawyer. Okay. And for the state doesn't allow that. And the reason for that is, if you think about it, if you have a wreck today and go into an insurance company and say, would you cover that accident from yesterday, even though we didn't have a relationship, they would all say no. So
yes, ma'am.
There's not a dismissal on that. Let me check for some, but hang on, let me check for other options. Hang on just a moment. I'm going to move Mr. Matson forward, and then I'm going to give you my full attention on what options might be available. Is your license back to valid?
After I paid for it to be reinstated and the city of Belton sent it off, I'm still waiting to hear back from them. So as of right now, it's still ineligible, and anywhere from Williamson County to Waco doesn't have an availability up until June.
You're going to retake your test?
I'm gonna try to. Like I said, it should be up for reinstatement because this was the first time getting it suspended.
That's not necessarily, I'm not hearing the things I know to be true. Some of it is. So here's what you're going to want to do. You need to help yourself. Okay. Have you been online to the, it's a website with DPS. It's, I think, yeah, Texas Failure to Appear. Have you been on there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Taylor, Salado, Parker Heights, and Rogers all have holds on your license.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you cleared all of those?
I'm in the process of working with Taylor and Parker Heights. The Rogers one was just a underage drinking there.
Yeah, but they have a hold on your license. And if I enter a conviction right now while you have a hold, you're going to get a further suspension. Things you need to clear up. So there's not any way of saying like, oh, that's just something. No, it's all something now.
Yes, ma'am.
Because when you neglect a thing, and you haven't neglected us, you're on time for it. So I feel like I'm dealing with someone who's trying to show up now and be. It may be that you're going to get through all this and get a further suspension, because I don't know if you've already had convictions. If you haven't, it may be inevitable, but because even deferrals don't present, an issue, and many judges will not necessarily grant deferrals. Old things. So you need to take care of these things. I can give you a month if you stay on time and you go get as much of this cleared out and see the effect. I can give you a packet for getting an occupation, because it looks to me like you're going to need one. That will be a valid license to drive validly until you get through this patch of problems. And the impact that that's going to create on your record. So if you want 30 days to get your options sorted out on your end, we can send you that packet through an email, and it will help you walk through and figure out what's going to happen and how to deal with it. And then you can come back and we can look at the possibility of deferred options. But in my deferred option, I'm going to make you have some sort of proof that you can validly drive. And it's not so simple as clearing these things up and then getting a license. These are going to have an impact. Not avoidable. So I can extend you if you want to do that.
Can I just go ahead and pay it out?
Sure. I know you're working. I can accept your pleas on both cases. And, we can schedule a payment plan of $100 a month. Do you want to do that?
Yes, ma'am. How much is the total?
The clerk can give you a final number. Right now it's at $562. There's going to be 2 fees of $15 for the payment plan going over 30 days, because that's required by the state statute. state law.
Okay, I can actually make a payment on next Friday.
Okay. Next Friday is the 24th. And what is the amount that you're talking about?
Between 100 and 150.
Okay, I'll put $100 and I need your signature today. And just do that monthly. And you can always pay more without penalty. When can you be here today?
Not sure. I don't get off until 5 o'clock.
If I email this to you, can you print it and sign it and email it back to me?
No, ma'am. I can try to come in there at between 12 and 1 o'clock.
Okay, we'll look for you then because, you save some options. You're online, it's easier, but we still have court today and we need to complete the process. It'll only take you. I understand, but employers do have to let you off for court. You can get a note. You can come during you. I need a signature.
Yes, ma'am. You'll get a signature. I'm just saying my company won't let me off. So
you don't get to have a break or lunch?
I mean, I have lunch, but anyway, I'll be there between 12 and 1.
Okay, we'll see you then. It will only take
yes.
2 minutes.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, make sure you ask for the packet for license.
Oh, now what was the packet again? You kind of broke up when you were talking about
it. When you get here, you'll just need to read it. It's a self-help packet.
Okay.
To do your license. Okay.
Okay, that'll work.
Okay. Best wishes. Mr. Mattson, I know that you and Mr. Oji will work together, and if I can get an update on that.
Your Honor, Mr. Oji actually has another upcoming citation for the same offense on April 3rd, I think.
Yes, that's
and
correct.
So we discussed both of those and reached an agreement.
Okay.
He will be pleading no contest on the January 26th offense.
Yes.
In exchange for a dismissal on the upcoming charge. And I am going to recommend, if he qualifies for it, community service.
He does qualify, but there is a disability. Mr. Oji, what is the nature of your disability?
I can't stand for long, but I have a chronic myelogenous leukemia.
Say that again. You can't stand for long, and you have.
I have chronic myelogenous leukemia.
You have leukemia.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I need you to. I can sign you up for community service as an option. You can take a look at it, but I would encourage you to take a look at it in connection with a conversation with your physician. And if your physician says, yes, it's good to do that, then you can do that. And if they say no, I need that in writing to consider if I waive some or all of this. Okay. Okay. And so I will schedule that we have community service on the one that is 314. And that's going to turn into 17 hours of community service. It's not going to be due until May 16th. I'm giving you a little extra time in case you need time to talk to your physician. I'll sign the prosecutor dismissal here this morning, and that will be in that file. So I do need you to come by to sign for your community service packet. What time can you be here today?
I'll be here at 11.
Okay. You can also get a copy of that dismissal. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And then there'll be a bunch of information for you to read to work out how to do your community service. And again, just talk to your physician about it. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're good to exit. Mr. Matson, I'm moving you forward with Antonio Vargas. He was here. I don't see him now. He was on the phone. So I will move you forward with Aaron Overby, who's had trouble all morning staying on. I think it's a technological and not a lack of interest. So, he's just reconnecting and we'll try to get, yeah, okay. Aaron Overby, can you hear me? The audio is connecting. Okay, Aaron Overby, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to move you over to a meeting with
With who?
the prosecutor.
Okay.
And Mr. Matson, he has not really been consistently in the meeting. And so just be aware there's probably patchy understanding of the processes. Okay. Let's see where we are. Bryson Roberts, can you unmute? Good morning. How are y'all?
Good.
So, Mom, can you tell me your name?
Naja Roberts.
Okay. We have teen court. And just give me a moment. We've got all the forms.
Okay.
It looks like we have everything that we need. The juvenile forms that we sent y'all, I think have been signed and they're in the file. I don't have them printed up, but I guess I'm wondering, and I just need to kind of hit the highlights. Bryson, one of the main, there's three main points there. One is just keep your contact information open with us. In other words, if you move, until this is done, we need to know how to communicate with you, okay? The next thing that I think is really important is to understand that when you enter a plea, you're waiving your right to remain silent. And I want to make sure you understand that you have the right to remain silent. And if you do that and you're moving your case over to a contested case and pleading not guilty, and we start the process of trial, I believe I received a plea from you, but I don't see a plea form. So, oh, there it is. I'm sorry. And I did receive a no contest. But before I accept it, I want to make sure you. What I was talking about earlier, when I talked about guilty and not.
You're kind of cutting out some.
Right. When I talked to y'all earlier or spoke to the group about guilty, not guilty, and no contest, do you feel like you understood what I told you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mom, do you feel like he understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then the next thing I want to let you know is the charge right now, and if I could get a copy of the complaint, is called disorderly conduct of fray, which is a type of fighting. It's mutual fighting. Okay. That's not really important at that point who started it, because both parties then continued to engage. Okay. So that's what we call fighting, is a fray. Okay. Do you understand, Bryson, what you're being alleged to have done on January 18th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Another thing for you to know too is that if you get a conviction when you're underage, which is under 17, you can have that removed from your record when you turn 17, as long as you've completed the case. So I just need you to verbally let me know you understand that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We got your written understanding, but it's important for me to just know these things are clear for you. And if you work towards getting that dismissal, that that removed from your record when you turn 17, you would come to this court to do that. Okay?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. Now with teen court, you wouldn't get a conviction, and I would grant the teen court request. There's a $20 teen court fee. Can you pay that fee today?
Yes, ma'am.
And then normally we need to kind of look at what's going on. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of a mixed, interesting problem because it is an offensive disruption of class, but it came in as an affray. I'm a little confused. Give me just a moment. I need to make sure that we're proceeding when we should, okay?
Okay.
And while we're doing that, Mr. Matson, I'm gonna all the things that let me just.
You cut out.
Yeah, I'm talking to someone else.
Okay.
Mr. Matson, can you hear me? This,
Yes, Your Honor,
if
I
you
can.
can, yeah, this is Bryson Roberts. And it's a case that was accepted for prosecution. It's weird because it came in as a disruption of class. There's no affidavit that I don't think I see one that, the state followed the requirements for that. It is in fact at the alternative school as well. So that should be a primary concern. And then it came in, even though the complaint reads as a disruption of class with no supportive, information about his education plan. It then was filed as a disorderly conduct finding, which is what underlies the disruption. And that was accepted. And I just want you to give it another just quick look because I don't know that we're proceeding prematurely. He's 13.
Your Honor, I do agree that the complaint is not reflecting the correct section of the education code, if that's even where a fray would come from. I think the officer
No,
that wrote
an
the
affray is a
citation,
penal code violation.
I think the officer that wrote the citation made a mistake on that.
I mean, am I wrong that they are required to follow the sections in the regarding underage persons?
Sorry, you cut out. Could you repeat that?
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand how we get from, I'm trying to figure out if the law is being followed, and the law does require when things happen on a campus that the school normally certify that they are following in allowing that charge to be filed, that they followed the education code regarding a person's education plan. If he has a DEAP of any kind, we're supposed to know that he does or doesn't have one, and that it was or wasn't followed before a prosecutor accepts those charges. So what I'm going to do is reschedule this onto the pretrial docket for 2 weeks or so, because I'm concerned. I don't know that we are missing stuff. I just want to make sure that we're not missing stuff. Okay?
Understood.
I'm sorry, Ms. Roberts, but I just need to make sure the law is followed. And
Yes,
I'm not
ma'am.
saying that it wasn't, but there are too many question marks. I don't want us to solve them in a pressure cooker right now. I want to back up and make sure that we all apply the thinking.
Okay.
So that means I'm going to reschedule.
Okay.
Does Bryson have an education plan? He normally would if he's
That part, I have no clue. I just know that his regular school assigned him to go to weekly, and then we went to a hearing and they just told us how many days he would be there, and that was that. They haven't discussed anything else with me.
Does he normally have an ARD meeting or any kind of education plan for discipline?
No, he was on a bit, but I don't know if he's currently on one.
It can be confusing. There's normally discipline plans that are associated with those kinds of meetings. And the schools are required to follow them, including when charges are filed. So that's what I want to make sure, that if there is one, they normally certify. And I just don't know this officer well enough to say that I know that that was checked off. And even if that officer did check that off, we should be having that reflected in the file, in the filing. So I'm gonna do it on my own. I'm gonna reschedule this for a pretrial on April 6th. State, does that give you enough time?
Yes, Your Honor.
And ma'am, is that a time when y'all can log back in if we send anything? I'm sorry, April 6th. Is that a date that we can reschedule and you can be back on the meeting?
Yes, ma'am. Is there a way that way I can let my job know that we're actually doing court again, that I can get something to submit to them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
What we sent before, did that work?
Yes.
And I can send an excuse for today and this morning, and for you and for Bryson.
Okay. He's actually on spring break, and they just covered from the letter that I submitted before for myself.
Okay. All right. We'll send that over to you. Okay.
Okay. And will that be email or in the mail?
It'll be emailed to you with a link. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all are good to log out right now. Mr. Mattson on Aaron Overby. And Mr. Overby, let me unmute you. Where are we?
We will be continuing to final pretrial on that one, Your Honor.
Okay. Final pretrial is an in-court meeting to set up trial. And that's going to be April 19th at 2 p.m. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We'll see you then.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Matson. We had Mr. Vargas on the meeting and I don't know what's happened. We're just going to schedule him for final because there may have been technology problems. I'm not sure. He was on a telephone call and I had oh, there he is. Sorry, Mr. Vargas, can you unmute?
I mean, I'm here. I've been waiting all this time.
Yeah, that's called a line. If you were in court, you'd just be waiting in a line in a lobby. So I'll move you over to the meeting. That way all morning. So there it is. Okay, I had him confused with a different person, but I did call him earlier and he didn't respond. He's moved over. Okay, and then I'm also moving forward. We're about to wrap up, officer. We're about to take him in, yeah. Okay, so Mr. McElroy.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Okay. There is a request for a payment plan, but I only showed a monthly income of $20, so I'm concerned. I have an option to do community service instead. Let me back up first, though. Turning left where prohibited. I did receive a guilty plea. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then there's a no driver's license charge, and the fines and costs are $181. How are you pleading at this time?
Guilty.
Okay. Do you want to do community service or do you want to set up payment?
I can do a payment plan.
Okay, what amount could you pay?
I can pay $50 a month or $100 a month.
Okay. We can go with $50 a month and you can pay more if you want to do so and get it done faster. I need your signature today. Can you make a payment today at the same time? Save you a trip?
I'm at work right now. We'll get off. I don't know. All right. I don't know if it rain today. I get off on time to make a payment. But if we don't get off on time, I can make it for sure Friday and sign.
What time on Friday if that has to happen?
I'm trying. Can I do it? I gotta do it on person. Or can I do it online? Or with form?
Well, can you print it and sign it and send it back and then go online and make a payment?
I can get out of work. I can print everything, and by tomorrow I can have everything to you.
Okay. As long as you're signing it and sending it back by the morning, and then you can call tomorrow and make a payment as well. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll email everything to the email where we set up the cases. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm making some notes.
So the email, like you send it to me, I sign it and I send it back, or how that work?
Yeah, we would email it to you. You print it, you sign it, you email it back. And then you can go online and make a payment tonight or tomorrow, or you can call a clerk, or you can come by.
Yes, ma'am. I'm more likely to call. I don't know what time we're gonna get off today.
I'm hearing you. That's why I'm giving you till tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll see you back tomorrow, but we need a signature tomorrow and a payment tomorrow then.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. We'll send it all to your email.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. You're good to go.
All right.
Robert Rodriguez. Are you able to unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I have a request for a payment plan and I'm able to approve it, but I need to tell you that, and are you able to get on screen?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
That's fine. This is a tobacco by a minor charge. The fines and costs are 181. It also has associated with it a mandatory tobacco awareness class. I have a first offender program where you pay the court costs only. And then your course, you know, you can do it online. Your course would be due, I think within 90 days. Can I see the court costs? I'm just looking for the court costs. Give me just a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's $81 and then you would save $100. The class is mandatory. I'm required to do it. And if you don't do it, I'm required to suspend your license. So I think this is the way to save money and it keeps it from being a conviction. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you pay the $81 today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then you'll have to come by and sign some paperwork. When can we look for you? Spend about 15.
I'm sorry. What was that?
What time can you be here, Mr. Rodriguez?
Well, I
No.
just live right down the street, so
I'm
it'll
not-
probably be like 10 minutes.
Okay.
I'm not ready.
All right. We'll see you then. We'll have everything at the front. Okay.
You're so dramatic. Jesus. Drama queen. Yes, I did.
Okay, Mr. Vargas.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I'm just going to ask the prosecutor to give me an update.
Okay.
Your Honor, somewhat similar to, which case was it? Mr. Ariaga's case, I believe.
Yes.
Or actually, no, it was Mr. Oji's charge. Mr. Vargas does have a pending case for March 30th.
Right.
Prohibited
March
use.
16th. Mhm.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, Mr. Vargas and I have reached an agreement where the citation for today, the parking on unapproved surface, will be dismissed in exchange for a plea of no contest on the prohibited use charge that is upcoming later this month.
Right. That one has a payment plan on it already.
Oh, it does?
Yes, but we have a show cause because it's gotten off track. He's paid $84 on the prohibited use charge. There's still a balance of $264. I don't mind the dismissal. I'm willing to sign it. Maybe we can get some kind of agreement on the remaining balance of $264 and how that is going to be paid.
Mr. Vargas had indicated to me that he would be able to pay next Wednesday.
What's the amount? He's 5 payments behind right now. So what amount, Mr. Vargas? You said you can make a payment next Wednesday. What is that amount?
I'll pay the full amount.
The $262?
Right.
Okay. On the 22nd, is that right?
Right. Right.
And I need you to sign something saying that today. Can you swing by the court today?
I'm at work. I cannot leave my work, and I mean, I can send an email or sign it, but I cannot take off from work and go sign. And I get off at 7, 8 o'clock in there this afternoon.
When do you start
I will
work
lose my
tomorrow?
job.
When do you start work tomorrow?
There's no telling. I really don't have a schedule. So it's very hard for me to make plans.
So you don't know
So
when
I'm not
you're
gonna
supposed
set.
to be at work? You just show up?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. They send me a text message. They'll show up whenever time. I'm not gonna lie and say, oh, I'll be there certain time and not show up. So I'm not gonna do that.
Well, I'm not gonna sign a dismissal on the case that's $764 until I get your signature.
Okay.
So listen
Can you
carefully.
send an email?
Listen carefully. If I email this to you, can you print it and sign it and email it back today?
Well, what do you mean printing it?
I mean, hit print and it prints out of a printer. That's what I mean. I can't go beyond explaining that to you.
I mean, that's the same as going to sign. I mean, I don't know how to do that. I don't really have time to do that.
Okay,
On
well,
my phone.
I don't feel like there's an agreement. So we'll just see you on April 19th here at the court. We can sort it out then.
Well, I'm gonna have to park my big truck on the side of the road and go inside.
I don't
and sign
understand
your
what you
paper.
just said. I don't know what you just said.
Well, I'm gonna make sacrifice and park my big truck on the side of the road and go inside and sign your paper. That's what it takes.
When will you be here?
Well, in the next 2 hours.
Okay. That's by 1:30.
Yeah,
No,
that's fine.
2 o'clock. Once I have that, I'll sign the other dismissal.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Where there's a will, there's a way. Seeing no one further, I've had a man yelling in the lobby at the staff all morning because he doesn't want to log on, and he paid his ticket 2 months ago and now he wants his money back. So I've got Parker bringing him in. So I better go for that.
All right.